Alright everyone, so today's video we're going to be talking about things that I wish I knew when I first started selling cards. Lessons that I learned, not exactly sure what you want to call it, but things I wish I would have done differently maybe. I don't know what the title of this video is going to be, but if you're in the position where you're thinking about starting to sell Pokemon cards or even Yu-Gi-Oh cards or Magic the Gathering or whatever your cup of tea is, if you're looking to start selling cards, I think this information is pretty good across the board. So these are just some things that easily over the last year or two I've learned that I wish I would have known from the beginning. So we're going to get right into it. Let's see here. So number one is going to be make a price sheet and then stick to your prices. Now, as far as Pokemon goes, at current time right now, I think for VMAXs, I'm paying 85 cents a piece, and V-Stars, I think Ultra Rares, so that would be like Vs and stuff like that, I pay 50 or 55 cents a piece. Bulk in general, I think, is $16 per 1,000 cards. So find out what the going market of bulk is, make a price sheet so this way you can post it to either Facebook or you can post it to Craigslist or whatever community you're a part of or Discord you're a part of, and you can start advertising that you're buying cards. Now, you're going to have people message you wanting you to buy their stuff, and they're going to want you to pay more than what you're saying you're going to pay for it. Don't do it. Just pass on it, because there is billions of cards out there. So if they don't want to sell them to you for the price that you're advertising, somebody else will. Just stick to your prices. That's the easiest way to protect your profits, and we'll go over that here in a minute. So every card has a value, but not every card is worth your time. Now, I've heard this thrown around a lot on the internet, that every card has a value, and I agree with that. Every card has a value. Tcgplayer Direct has taught me one thing, that every card has a value. But it's not always worth your time, and that's a lot of times what's going on with Direct, and I will touch on that a little later too. But if my advice, and it's kind of hard to explain, but the way I always do it is I have a bare minimum that I pay for something. So like non-holographic rares, just rares in general, I pay, I think, 5 cents a piece for those, but I don't list them for under 10 cents. Even if they're worth 5 or 6 cents a piece, I still only list them for 10 cents. So no matter what, I'm at least doubling my money on all rares. If your threshold, your limit, your minimum, whatever you want to call it, for like a VMAX, if you're paying 85 cents like I am, if your limit is you want to double your money, that would be $1.70. If you could just jump it to $2, now you're not taking anything less than $2 for a VMAX. So you know you're going to over double your money. If you start accepting, and this is where going back to the first point of making a price sheet and sticking to it, if you start paying more than what you advertise paying for, it makes your minimums that you take on Tcgplayer later on kind of hard to stick to and know exactly how much money you're making. So I hope that makes sense. Just basically make a goal, make a threshold. I keep calling it a threshold, but make a minimum that you're going to accept for a card on Tcgplayer, and whatever you decide that needs to be based on what you're paying for the card. If it's a double, if it's a triple, if it's quadruple, whatever that is, just stick to it. Don't buy damaged cards. This is a lesson that I didn't initially try and buy damaged cards, but buying them online and from multiple states away, sometimes you really don't get to see them before you buy them. Now, non-holographic bulk is not as bad because the cards aren't really damaged. Sure, you'll have your ones with scratches and stuff on it, but they're really not as damaged as your holo and reverse holo bulk is going to be. So really make sure you get a lot of pictures. If you get a chance to look through it locally, I try to stick to local deals, but try and really scan through it and look at the condition. If it looks moderately played or even lightly played, take money off. If you're paying 8 or 9 cents for a holo or a reverse holo, knock that down to 6 cents, because you're now going to take less money for it because it's damaged. Learned this the hard way quite a few times, where I bought bulk from states away. All 5, 6, 7, 8,000 holos show up, and half of it is in lightly played condition. And unfortunately, you can argue with the person to get some of your money back, but at that point the deal is done and they're already sitting in your office space or wherever you sort cards at. So just be careful. Don't buy any damaged cards. I know there's a spot on Tcgplayer that lets you sell damaged cards. Steer clear of damaged cards. They're not worth it. You sit on them forever. You never sell them all. Just word to the wise. Don't buy damaged cards. Now, the next couple bullet points that I have here, they all jumble together. Liquidity. You want to sell cards quickly. That's the name of this game. Whenever Pokemon Company prints billions and billions of cards, it's turning in them and burning them. You don't, and unless you're sitting on something long term and you're expecting it to gain value over time, which does happen. That's what I like to keep my sealed product for. But as far as singles go, it's a turn and burn. You got to try and move product as quickly as possible. You can't make deals happen if you don't have cash to buy product from people. So always make sure you have money on hand, or you have PayPal at the ready to make a deal happen. Make sure you sub to the channel. If you guys haven't already and you enjoy this content, please subscribe to the channel. I am relatively new to the Pokemon community as far as making videos like this. So please hit that thumbs up button. Also, like I said, if you enjoy this content, I try to open cards on here, and I try to also give you some pointers as to how to run a Pokemon business just a little bit more profitable. So moving on to the next thing, like I said, circling into that last point, clear inventory. Now, this is something my wife likes to call a flash sale. Now, almost every night, I and my wife will sort bulk while we're watching TV, and we get them all listed. At a certain point, we get 40, 50, 60,000 cards in our direct inventory, and our threshold, our minimum for a lot of non-holographic bulk on direct is 6 cents per card or 7 cents per card. Well, there's a lot of cards that are only worth a penny or two. So they don't really sell for 6 and 7 cents. So what I do is, using mass pricing, and I'm not going to explain in this video what that is, but using mass pricing on Tcgplayer Direct, every couple months when I get to that 30, 40, 50,000 amount of inventory, about 10 boxes or so full, I will slash all my prices down to what Tcgplayer says the value is worth. So if it's a penny card, I sell it for a penny. And usually I'll sell, in a month and a half, I'll clear out a good quarter of my inventory, 15% of my inventory. I'll sell 10, 15,000 cards as I'm getting new ones in, and that will help some of the cards that are worth 2 and 3 cents a piece that you have 50 and 60 of them. It will help you move that inventory because, like I said before, every card does have a value, but at a certain price, if I sell it for a penny and I'm paying $17, $18 per thousand, that means I'm paying 1.8 cents per card. So if I sell it for a penny and I give 50% of that to Tcgplayer Direct, I'm not really making any money. So it helps to get liquidity, but it doesn't help to profit. So I hope that makes sense. I can make another video in the future if you guys want me to explain or go over some of my numbers and whatnot a little bit more. It takes time to sell cards. This is kind of what I was just saying. It takes time to sell cards, your ROI, your return on investment. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's kind of like a get-rich slowly over time, maybe, kind of. Because some cards sell, some cards don't. In my personal opinion, rares and trainers and energy cards and stuff like that, I crush those. I sell lots, hundreds and hundreds and thousands of those, just thousands of them. But some of the commons and uncommons, they definitely sit. So really, really just need to keep that in mind whenever you put all this money out to buy all this bulk and it doesn't move like that. Space. This is a big one. I've showed this in some of my other videos. I have tables. I have 2 big tables plus at least 3 other shelves full of the 3,500 count boxes. You need to have space. If you don't have a garage, an office space, a dedicated work spot to do all this, you're going to have a really rough time. Just like packing and shipping, you need a dedicated workflow space that you can do all this through, or you're going to have a really tough time. So just know what you're getting yourself into. The last one I think is the most important, and it kind of ties it all together, is decide early on if this is a hobby or if this is a business. I'm not talking about from a tax standpoint, if it's a hobby or it's classified as a business. I mean, obviously, if you're buying and selling Pokemon, or you're interested in it, I would assume you're interested in Pokemon, and I would assume you like it, obviously. So do you want to ruin something that you really like to make some money? Are you able to enjoy something while it simultaneously could also technically work? It definitely ruins some of the fun sometimes. A little bit of a darker side of this, and I'm not doom and gloom, but a lot of times my son and I don't get to complete sets anymore just by opening packs. Not that we've ever completed fully 100% a set just by opening packs, but a lot of times now I'll sum up sets and complete sets just from bulk that comes through. So that can be a good thing because I finish my sets, but it's also a bad thing because it's something me and my son like to look forward to do together, and there's nothing like being 80% done with a set, 90% done with a set, and you pulled every card. Obviously, like I just said, you gotta fill up some loose ends with some singles you buy, but I don't pull a lot of the cards that I keep in my personal collection anymore just because I have so much bulk that I go through. So always keep that in mind. If it's a hobby, some things are left better as a hobby, and if it's a business and you think you can dedicate enough time to it and space to it and make enough money, then it can be a business too. So that's going to be about it. Like I said, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you guys want some more videos like this, I can definitely come up with some more stuff to make a video of things that I would do differently just in the last year or two selling these cards. So like I said, it's going to be it. I'll see you all in the next one. Stay safe.